Saturn. When did we discover Saturn? We don't know exactly when ancient observers first recognized what we now call the planet Saturn. Many ancient civilizations were aware of 5 wandering points of light in the night sky, which were later named for gods of Roman mythology: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. These planets were easily observed with the unaided eye. It was not until the time of Galileo, who first looked at the sky through a telescope, that we observed these wandering stars to be other worlds. The planets outside Saturn's orbit, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, were discovered using more modern telescopes, beginning with the discovery of Uranus by William Herschel in 1781. The discovery of each of these outermost planets generated great public interest at the time and made the discoverers famous. How did Saturn get its name? Nearly all ancient human cultures created names for, and stories about the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars. Like so many things in history, the naming of the planets happened by accident. For example, the ancient Babylonians recognized 5 specks of light moving across the night skies and believed that these specks were the images of their most important gods. Not surprisingly, they named the moving lights after these gods. When the Greeks, probably the Pythagoreans, in the 5th century BC, came into contact with the Babylonian sky lore, they assigned to the 5 lights the names of those Greek gods corresponding most closely to the appropriate Babylonian deities. The Greek names of the 5 planets were Hermes, Aphrodite, Ares, Zeus, and Kronos. In due course, perhaps in the 2nd century BC, the Romans became acquainted with Greek astronomy and the Greek planetary names. The Romans then rendered the Greek names to fit their own gods. This is the origin of the names Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, the names still in use 2,000 years later. Saturn is the 6th planet out from the center of our solar system. It orbits the Sun at a distance of about 1.4 billion kilometers, 870 million miles. Saturn is about 9.6 times as far from the Sun as is Earth. Saturn is almost twice as far from the Sun as is Jupiter, the 5th planet in the solar system. The Sun around which Saturn and the other planets orbit is one of hundreds of billions of stars in the Milky Way galaxy. The nearest star to the Sun, called Alpha Centauri, is more than 40 trillion kilometers, 25 trillion miles, away. Our solar system is located a little more than halfway from the center of the galaxy. The whole solar system, Sun and planets, orbits the center of the galaxy once about every 225 million years. The Milky Way galaxy is only one of an estimated 100 billion galaxies in the known universe. Each of these galaxies may have billions of stars with planets around them, perhaps even some like Saturn. 3. Where is Saturn located? Saturn is the 6th planet out from the center of our solar system. It orbits the Sun at a distance of about 1.4 billion kilometers, 870 million miles. Saturn is about 9.6 times as far from the Sun as is Earth. Saturn is almost twice as far from the Sun as is Jupiter, the 5th planet in the solar system. The Sun around which Saturn and the other planets orbit is one of hundreds of billions of stars in the Milky Way galaxy. The nearest star to the Sun, called Alpha Centauri, is more than 54,000 kilometers, 33,480 miles, from its center. How old is Saturn? Astronomers believe that the Sun and the planets of our solar system first formed from a swirl-ing cloud of gas and dust about 4.6 billion years ago. The Milky Way galaxy is older still, and the universe itself is believed to be between 10 and 20 billion years old. Astronomers predict that the Sun will burn steadily for about another 5 billion years or so. Thus, in astronomical terms, the Sun and the planets orbiting around it could be called middle-aged.